Life on Earth.
The stuff that happens here.
Welcome back to another episode of Life on Earth. This is the mini-series where we talk about things that happen here in space, stuff that's cool.
So did you know that some animals vote?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So apparently democracy isn't limited to humanity. For example, the African buffalo herds are known to select the direction they'll travel by voting. One by one, the adult females of the herd will stand up and look in a particular direction. And whichever direction gets the most looks is the way the herd goes. And if the voting is divided, then the herd will split up for a time.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Buffalo, of course, are not the only animals who vote. When honeybee colonies split in two, the queen and thousands of workers, they'll fly off in search of a new home. Mm-hmm. Eventually, when they're far enough away from the previous hive, they'll find a resting place. And then the female scouts will get sent off in search of the best place to build a beehive nearby. Now, they'll fly, and when they find a spot they like, these scout bees will return to the group, and they'll start doing this waggling dance around on the outside of this huge ball of other bees. And these workers tell all of the other bees the quality of the new location and how far and what direction it is. When enough of these scout bees come back and all are doing their own dances, telling everyone else what they found, eventually some of these scouts will be convinced by other scouts that their location is better, and they'll start copying the dance. When all of these scouts start dancing, or are all convinced and they start dancing the same pattern, that's when the decision has been made, and the colony of bees will fly off and start their new nest.
Much like when we had to do the My Little Teapot dance. Link in the description below.
The last animal that votes that I'm going to go into detail about today is African wild dogs. They vote in the funniest way possible. Sneezing.
What?
Members of a pack jump up and greet another in high-energy rituals called rallies. After a rally, the dogs will vote to start a hunt or to go back to sleep. In a 2017 study, researchers discovered that the decision to hunt or stay seems to be democratic. To cast a vote for hunting, the dogs sneeze. The more sneezes there are at the beginning of the rally, the more likely the dogs are going to be to go hunt. It also depends on how popular the dog is who starts the rally. A popular dog who starts sneezing can influence a hunt with as little as 3 sneezes from the rest of the pack. But if a less popular dog starts a rally, it can take over 10 sneezes. Or they don't sneeze it, they just go back to sleep. There are actually a larger number of animals that vote than I thought. Baboons, chimps, and other primates, some species of ants, red deer, meerkats, and others do as well. Who knew?
I was once told that lobsters are immortal, as in they cannot die from old age. They live until they are eaten, which I decided to look that up. What was interesting that I found out is that no, not really. Lobsters are not immortal. They do die, but they don't die from old age, so that adage is correct. And the reason why is on DNA there is a specific thing that protects each of the chromosomes, and it's called telomeres. They're on each end of the chromosome to protect it when it splits so that it continues to exist and doesn't degenerate and become cancer and it dies.
It's always a good thing.
Yes. So the thing about lobsters is it infinitely regenerates these telomeres, those things. So essentially, their DNA stays young forever. It doesn't age because it's infinitely regenerating itself like Wolverine.
Well, that's really cool because as we get over, we lose our telomeres.
Yeah, telomeres. Yeah.
And that's how we die of old age. Okay. So that's... Lobsters are different.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep, but they weren't the only ones. So there was a few others, but I'll just go into one more for us here. There's a species of jellyfish known as the Teratopsis, codenamed the immortal jellyfish, as we will continue to call it for the sake of ease. These jellyfish do something similar to Benjamin Button, where instead of aging when they get into a state of distress or they're getting too old or they get some sort of illness, they will reverse their life cycle pattern and revert to a previous life cycle pattern.
What?
So essentially, if it's like a baby polyp or it becomes like, we'll call it a toddler jellyfish or something, and then it goes into danger because of environmental issues or predators or the like, it can reverse itself to then be a baby instead.
Okay.
And
that's impressive.
Yeah, so it can age up or age down, and it can do it indefinitely. So it can be immortal simply because it wants to. So when they're ready to die from being too old, they reverse their aging and they just age all the way back down until their environment suits whatever age they're at the time, and they just start aging again. They're like, adulting? No.
Oh, I feel it. I think I'd go back 10 years if I could.
So that was a short little snippet of life on Earth.
See you next time.